Radioactive materials. It's a misconception, actually, that these placards are radioactive. Actually, no. They're one of my company placards, and they go back to when I used to do rocket launches, and were the spillway of my rocket launch. And that's one of my companies, that Lusifer Star companies, basically, that I owned. And I changed the symbol from because I like the symbol, I like the way it looks. So. And I did nuclear stuff, so a lot of nuclear stuff, Chernobyl, that kind of stuff. Anyway, and basically, so I used the symbol of my rocket launches for the symbol of radiation, or it was a symbol. It's like the double dot. Anyway, so this is actually just a symbol for one of my companies, really, that you're seeing here, and it has really nothing to do with radiation, really, but. Anyway, but they do a lot of exclusive radiation work because they're really good at it. So it became one of those symbols. And it's a really old company, and they make a lot of money technically. But basically, the radiation has nothing to do with that symbol at all. That's actually my symbol. So, and it was a symbol of my rocket sites. As when the rocket sites would go into the sky, there would be this little light pattern in the ground that was basically that symbol. So later on, we just used it as a symbol for the company. So anyway, because I liked it, I thought it was cool. So. Rocket launch. It's actually the spillways for my early rocket launches, going up, and that would be the rocket. Anyway, and these are supposed to be the spillways. So it's actually. So, the radioactive content and quantity of the material being shipped. So that's really just a symbol for one of my companies, and I've posted other videos on this. But it's basically, and if you ask them, they'll tell you, "Well, that's just our symbol, that we use." God, I look old. I'm looking old. It's just a symbol for one of my companies, and it goes back to the old rocket launch days. And of course, the people working at the company probably don't even know where it's from. It's from the old rocket launch days. Is where it's from. I used to do my spill patterns in that shape because it was the optimum spill pattern way for getting the rocket the blast effect out. Or you can just go to the sides, but I had extra money, so I liked the little. And besides, I liked the way it looked on the cameras as it shows it going. And these huge rockets would rocket past, and they would leave this little like star pattern, kind of star. So, anyway, so yeah, it left kind of like that kind of symbol kind of thing. Anyway, so Germany actually built all these material handling cases. They're actually designed and built by Germans, and a long time ago. And, or at least the science for it's all done by Germany. It's just that a lot of people wanted to come along and say that they designed them, and they just built them really, and they didn't really design them. They just pulled an old plan. Because Germany had it all figured out, and if you asked any Germans, they would tell you about how to do it. Because we don't mind people knowing how to transport the nuclear waste or the nuclear hazardous material. We only care about what's called. But this symbol indicates a company, and that's my company, and is an old, very, very old company, and it says radioactive. So it's actually the company symbol and the word radioactive. So anyway. Which just means basically that it could be anything from thorium to uranium to any of the isotopes, really. It's really actually supposed to have more things. Or the seven, which is actually just kind of like another symbol. 7 indicates me, actually, again. 7 indicates me again. And it's just another number code, which may coincide with some sort of material. Because I wanted to put a little 7 on there. So anyway, it may coincide with a chart which might indicate what is inside of the burning container that you, the fireman, have now come across. So that's why one of the reasons why we actually do other things, because there's so many nuclear. It's safe to transport now. It's fairly easy to transport. Anyway, these little things will go plunk and get picked up out of there and get put into one of those. So. Anyway, and it's a misconception. Of course, they're trying to. Yes, I'll sign over my company. To me. No, I won't sign over my company. You'll have to do it again. No, I'm not going to sign over my company. Anyway, because technically, well, I'm the creator and I'm a very rich man, technically. But lots of people don't want people to know how old and powerful I was. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Germany actually built all this stuff, actually, a long time ago. And for the leader, the supreme leader, Lusifer Star. Because I was the master inventor and master leader and the supreme leader of their country and supreme leader of everything. And that girl would probably go, yeah, I want to be with you, if she knew about who I really was. Anyway, but somebody else wanted those girls to go, yeah, to them. And basically, I dwarfed everyone with how old and powerful I was and how I'm actually the creator of humanity and even that woman's body. Genetically and all that kind of other stuff. And so women would be like, cling to me. Not to mention my money, which is rather substantial, having me owning both Germany, America, and having to have rebuilt Germany again later on, and also owning Japan and Korea and most places around the world. So, or built them anyway. So I had a bunch of people who were just trying to come up with money, including JFK or Kennedy, were trying to submerge in. No, go ahead, just shoot. I'm not going to give you anything. Anyway, so as far as radiation thing, then, and that's why firefighters are also versed. But firefighters, I own the country, so firefighters are like, well, we're going to teach you. Ah, yes. You've come to the right place, the German Empire. And now you will learn about radiation, yes. It is actually the symbol of one of our creators' companies. And we have made radioactive material safe for you, the normal user. And you're German. You so know it. I'm just playing. But yeah. Anyway, though, but yeah. Anyway, though, it's just a symbol for my company. And I owned, because we were doing radiation research, although we were doing radiation research the right way, so we lived. It's like, well, why did your company live? Well, because we were doing radiation research the right way and not the wrong way, and we knew how dangerous it was. So, yeah, we became the leaders in radioactive technology and all that other stuff, because we lived! And I was like psycho, like, don't go there unless we know what we're doing. And so with lots of shielding, we finally figured out what we were doing and figured out how to handle it safely without getting dead. Although most things are pretty inert in their solid state. Not until you apply heat to them do they actually become psycho dangerous. So as long as they're cool or not together with see, that's one type of metal, and you just got to take the other type of metal and you put it with it, and then you get heat. So you take two kinds of metal, two kinds of radioactive metal, and you put them together. And what you get is heat. And anyway, but those metals probably come from lead or something like that. They're actually like lead that's been changed. It's been changed or something like that. Anyway, I don't really do it anymore. I don't really care. And a lot of people died over it. And a lot of people were like, oh, money. And they messed around with it. And they're like, ah, when they opened up the cases. So, yeah. And a lot of people, they don't, it depends on the country you're from and the company you're from and all that other stuff. And about whether or not there's a symbol on the side of the container. My company uses a symbol most of the time, but other companies also use the containers too. And they don't put anything. They don't even put hazardous waste on them or hazardous on them. So, but that's what those big white containers are, and they're also white because Lusifer White Star. Anyway, these containers actually were gray, but later on I wanted to change them to white too because I'm Lusifer White Star. I'm not Lusifer Gray. So I think they changed these over to white, but they can be any color. So can these. And basically, they were gray, and I thought I wanted to have them white, so I think they changed them over to white. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, but I'm Lucifer White Star, and yeah, the creator, and also the person who kind of figured it out and kind of was part of the whole nuclear bomb experiment a little bit. But mostly that was just my researchers and my Germans, which knew I was their creator, and I invented lots of things in the past and invented them. So. Anyway, lots of interesting stuff, whatever. Be careful about those big, huge things. And mostly they're dangerous. I don't know why they have them on cruise ships, but you'll see them on cruise ships and people asking. And even the media was like, what are these things? It's like, you don't need to worry about that. Something like that. You don't need to worry about that. Sorry. Had to do it.